Hi everybody. I knew you guys were gonna ask. The top is a bra top from Free People, and my shorts are from We Wore What, but they're like really old. So Danielle Bernstein's line, We Wore What. So I don't think she is still carrying these shorts, but you never know. Give it a shot. Back to the couch confessions. Solo dolo. I will talk about that another confession, but today I recently just put a reel out on Instagram, which I'm probably going to reformat and put on YouTube as well, talking about my body and what I've gone through with my health. I have lightly touched on this subject, but I really haven't gone all the way in, and a lot of my friends didn't even know, like people that were close to me reached out and they were like, we didn't even realize like the severity of what was going on in your body. I didn't want a lot of people to know. I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin, and I therefore didn't want to share that with anyone really. So I was really, really sick and kept getting really sick for a very long time. I would say I really started noticing it in like 2006, 2004. I just, I was in my 20s then, and I was just always so tired, and I couldn't, I didn't feel good, all the time. And I just thought it was normal because I was working 2 jobs and drinking all the time and running around like a 20-year-old does. But now that I look back on it, my body definitely started talking to me, and I was ignoring that pretty significantly my entire life. I had, 12 kidney infections one summer. One summer in 3 months, I had 12 kidney infections. I got allergic to sulfa and sulfur, so the medications that were used to kill kidney infections at the time, I was allergic to. And throughout the past couple of years, from then on to, I would say 2 years ago, random weird shit would just constantly be happening to my body. My friends, my best friend said to me, I don't remember a time when you haven't said to me, I feel inflamed. And it was it almost made me cry. Not that she was wrong, because she was absolutely 100% right, but I couldn't remember a time where I felt okay in my own body, and I just kept trying to push through and push through and push through, and it finally just, it all broke. I had some pretty intense emotional trauma that happened throughout the years as well. And that, on top of the physical stress that I was putting on my body from exercise and restricted eating and just immense amount of pressure I was putting on myself to be perfect, let's just say, and to excel at everything all the time, I just really made myself super sick, and my immune system ate shit, and my body kept overproducing estrogen, and everything became out of whack. I got shingles about 40 times. I was starting to have these massive histamine reactions to foods, and then to ingredients in detergents, air fresheners in cars. I would throw up. Really anything that had any toxic anything in it would make me sick to my stomach. And I would blow up 3 to 4 dress sizes within 20 minutes. I would inflame to this crazy amount, and it was starting to really affect my mental health, because I felt like I was a prisoner in my own body. My thyroid stopped working, all of my hair fell out, I gained 70 pounds, and I couldn't lose the weight no matter how many calories I restricted and how much training I did. If I worked out and I burned 1,200 calories, and then only 800-900, I should be eating calorie deficient. As far as I was concerned, I should be losing weight, and I wasn't. I was gaining weight. I was expanding, and I really had to look at a lot of things about what was going on with my system. I started trying to heal my body from the inside out, and I let go of what I thought I was supposed to look like, and that external perfection that I had in my clothing size and what I look like aesthetically. And I had to let all of that go and go in and heal my body from the inside out, and start looking at my gut health, start looking at my entire system as a whole. I started seeing some naturopathic doctors. They moved the needle for me just a little bit, but nothing was really healing me. It was taking way too long. I was with a naturopath for about 3 years. She's wonderful, but it wasn't working all the way for me. So I started doing some blood tests on my body and really testing my food allergies based on my IgA responses in my system. Very important that if you're gonna go through this process of testing any kind of allergies, that you're using blood, okay? Prick tests and skin pricks and all of those things are so outdated. You want to figure out what's causing the reaction. You don't want to figure out on the front end, not on the back end. If your skin's having a reaction, you're so far away from the actual issue. So why is that happening is what the issue is. So there was a lot of cleaning up I had to do. I started seeing 2 very important doctors. One is Dr. Neil Pulvin, he's in New York. The other one is Dr. Sierra, she's an endocrinologist. She is also in New York. I see them to this day. They both believe in the same systems and the same ideology, and that's why I love both of them. It is telemedicine, so I see them from wherever I am in the world. I do not live in New York at this time, and I pay out of pocket, and they run everything they can through whatever my insurance will cover. And it's worth the money. It is worth the money to pay out of pocket for a doctor who looks at your body like a system and looks at everything and understands what's gonna cause you to turn into soup. And so we kind of just started going in and really looking at what was causing what. I got one of those lumen blow thingies to test my body in ketosis. This was one of the first things that I did to really figure out what was going on in my body. And I was eating only proteins and fats. I was on a keto diet, and my body would not get into ketosis. Huge flag. That was a massive flag for me. So I talked about that. I did these full panel blood work with every doctor, and I did a full panel every month to every 3 months, depending on what was going on in my body. We were trying to heal a lot of things at the same time, so we needed to know what was causing what to happen. And the only way to do that is to have data. And I can feel a specific way in my system, I can feel a specific way in my body, but it's also very important for you to have the numbers to go along with that feeling. And these were the first 2 doctors that I can honestly say were listening to what I had to say in terms of me talking about how I felt. I'm sorry, my naturopath before that as well definitely listened to what I was saying. But I needed both Eastern medicine and Western medicine. I tried solely to go through the naturopathic way. It wasn't working all the way. I needed both things at the same time, and I needed doctors that understood how to do both things at the same time. And so we really started looking at all of my levels. Even if I was in range, which a lot of things I was in range, I was lower or I was higher, but I was still in range. But what they were doing is they were looking at 9 markers that were low in range, which then showed that I had mold toxicity in my gut, and then going in and doing that protocol and choosing if I was going to do it the naturopathic way or if I was going to use a medication. And me being able to choose how I wanted my body to go through that, and knowing that one was going to be much more difficult for me and tumultuous, and the other one was going to be easier, but the other one would be faster and one would be shorter. I remember my doctor saying, like, okay, like, you have two options. Like, one is going to be like driving like a Nissan Sentra. It's going to be like reliable. It's going to get you there. It's not going to drive you fast, but we'll get there. It'll take us like 6 months. It'll be like a smooth ride. The other one is like, we're going to be driving a Ferrari, but there's going to be no, you know, suspension system in this Ferrari. So we're going to get there really, really, really fast, and it's going to be bumpy, and you're going to be miserable. So do you want to be miserable for 3 months, or do you want to be less miserable and have this go on for 6 months? And I chose the Ferrari, and he was right. Absolutely, it sucked. But by the 30 days that I was over with that medication, I felt more like me. Once we started like knocking off things that were happening in my body and really kind of creating like a system protocol of like what the biggest issues were that were causing my body to be so out of whack and so insane, and cherry picking the top 3 and sticking to the top 3 and moving the needle on those 3 things and getting the blood work to support my body shifting and changing and stabilizing in those things, and then moving on to the next 3 things that were bothering me. I was having horrendous brain fog. I couldn't remember things. It was just, you know, I got MRSA, I got hoof and mouth disease, which you're not supposed to get after the age of 7 years old. I got when I was 36. Like, any random weird shit that would happen, I would get it. And it became like a joke, really. It became crazy. While I was going through this protocol with these doctors and understanding that I was trying to kill or rebuild in my own body, I had to be very careful about what I put in my system and how I was removing toxins from my body, okay? So this is where the body gua sha comes into play. I knew that I was toxic. My body couldn't have been more clear with me that I had a very high toxicity level, okay? It was trying to get the toxins out of my body through my skin and my hair and my acne. And I had very bad cystic acne at the time as well. Like, everything was just messed up in me. You know, who gets cystic acne in their 40s? Me. So, or late 30s. So I knew I had to get the toxins out. Enter the body gua sha, the beginning of the body gua sha. I practiced removing toxins from my body every single day. So dry brushing every single day before I shower and using the DIAMANDIA body gua sha every day after I shower became a critical part of reducing this inflammation, removing the toxins, boosting my immune system, boosting my metabolism, working on my body to get rid of what it was holding on to in terms of toxicity was massively important. Also, like using an infrared sauna and an infrared sauna blanket, another way to detox. So being diligent and consistent in that practice of removing toxins and like really getting stuff out, because if you think about it, other than going to the bathroom, we don't consistently remove toxins from our body. We just ingest toxins. We ingest in our food, we ingest in our environment, we ingest like with our clothing, we ingest with like our HVAC, we ingest with our candles, we ingest with our detergents, we ingest with our cleaning products, we ingest everywhere. I haven't even got to food yet. We haven't even got to food yet. So if you're ingesting, how are you removing every day? Going to the bathroom once or twice a day. Some people don't go to the bathroom once a day. Sometimes people go to the bathroom every other day or every couple days. But my point is, how are you actively removing all these toxins that we're taking on and burdening our body with every day? We're not. We're just accumulating those toxins and we're putting more stress on the system. That extra stressor is causing your immune system to go down. That extra amount of toxin is causing your immune system to go down. So I was actively removing those toxins every single day while being very conscious about how many more toxins I was going to put in. Like, I kind of look at it as, do you throw trash on the floor while you're vacuuming? Being very conscious about what the products were that I was using, what the, what facial stuff what makeup I was using, what were there clean ingredients in that, what detergents I was using, all of my household environment to make sure it was very, very clean. And if it wasn't, my body was going to inflame anyways. So I knew I had to get rid of all of that, and I had to remove as much as humanly possible. That's where the body gua sha and its creation came about. Because my body was so messed up, I had to get the system to calm down. Therefore, that was created. That process of figuring out the design that worked for me, the design that worked for my body, and like why I even built this whole company, the oil being created, having that, having no fragrance in it, making sure all of those oils were vegan and organic and cruelty free, because my body is so sensitive, I couldn't use anything else. And I also kept staining things, which was aggravating me. So making sure that that oil was clean as I possibly could, making sure that the body gua sha was made from biostone, which had 40 trace minerals in it, so I was healing my body just with the components of the stone itself. Very, very critical. And also really looking at what was coming in. So I think about this logistically in 3 parts. The first part is like, what comes in your system? What foods are you eating? Is it organic? Is it anti-inflammatory? Is it clean? Is it supporting your body from healing? What are you using this food for? Are you using this food to nourish your body, or are you emotionally using this food? Very important. What stress are you putting in? Like, what are your relationships like? What are your friendships like? What is your work environment like? What is your boss like? Like, are these positive and healthy relationships? Are they nourishing your body? What's coming in the system? Do you have a lot of stress? Like, how do you manage that? Like, where's the shift? So what's coming in here? Then how do you manage that? Do you meditate every day? How do you manage your healthy mindset? How do you manage like that stressor? I was not doing that when I was getting sick. I was constantly just packing on more stress, throw it into my backpack, just packing it on, taking on the world, taking it on, and not putting it anywhere. I was using exercise as a vehicle for that. And then when I got sick with shingles, I couldn't use that vehicle anymore. Even though I tried to go running while I had shingles multiple times, like an idiot. But that vehicle was no longer serving me, so I couldn't use that vehicle. So how was I going to manage this mentally? Therapy, meditation, positive friendships, reciprocal relationships, things like that. How do I manage that? Also, what is exercise doing for me? Is exercise supporting my inflammation? Is it adding to my inflammation? How am I managing, like, moving my body, mindful movement? How is that happening? Okay, how am I managing the system? And then the third part is how to remove stuff from your body. How are you removing the toxins? Are you dry brushing every day? Are you using the Diamandia body gua sha every day? Am I getting myself into an infrared sauna a couple times a week? Am I using the infrared sauna blanket a couple times a week? Like, how am I removing toxins on the regular? Because your body is just a container. It's like a cup. You can just keep pouring in and pouring in and pouring in and pouring in. Eventually something is gonna, the container is gonna overflow, or there's gonna be a hole in it, right? So I really had to implement those 3 philosophies of managing my system and my stress, and then creating boundaries around that and making sure that I was doing what I needed to do for myself before I showed up and gave to other people or other relationships or other things, because I was so fragile. If I didn't, I would just break. And I started taking things so personally, and it wasn't working. So I just kept going in and going in and going in and doing more work with myself and more work with myself and just really letting my body heal from the inside out. And the more I did with managing stress and adding more into my meditations and adding more into my self-care and adding more into my washout routine and going to sleep earlier and using an eye mask and really prioritizing my healing, the faster these things happened for me. And the faster my body responded to whatever I was working on with my doctors. Since I started working with these doctors, I haven't had shingles. I had shingles 45 times, okay? And 45 times, okay? And it just became ridiculous. So if you can look at that, there is technically no cure for shingles, right? There's a vaccination that we know of, it's on the market, let's just say that. It's about boosting your immune system. It's about your body being able to handle and manage stress, because that is the trigger to which shingles or cold sores or any of these dormant viruses that lay dormant in our system, that they're activated when a massive stressor happens, right? So if you think about it, if you've had shingles, like you can be like, oh, like my girlfriend broke up with me 2 weeks before I got shingles. I went through divorce, then I got shingles. I lost my job, then I got shingles. There's always something that happened right before, and then I got shingles, okay? So really looking at this whole thing as a system, your body is talking to you. Like, you got that shingles, that became activated in your system because of the amount of stress and pressure that your body was under, mentally and emotionally, that it physically manifested itself to come out in that way. So understanding that, how do we reduce those stressors? How do we remove those extra stressors? What is coming in that is allowing that to happen? Are you eating garbage that is putting your body under stress? So that is where the 7-day reset was born, because I had to adopt by default of my body's physical reaction to everything, an anti-inflammatory diet I hate, lifestyle. I implemented this lifestyle. I implemented the body gua sha. I started working with these doctors, and everything started moving. I added in meditation. Everything started shifting, my body started really healing, and I started creating the space for my body to heal, which means I didn't go out. I wasn't social. I'm still not very social, because I go to bed at 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night, because that's just the way it is. I'll go out every once in a while, but I'm exhausted. Like, my body needs more time to heal. I'm still not 100,000% yet. I am like 95, and this feels amazing. So that's kind of how all of these things were born. They were born from my body going through all of this stuff and me having to use myself as the guinea pig to heal from the inside out. I really had to look at the ingredients in foods, looking at exactly what types of oils were in foods. It made such a difference. So I initially just removed soy, gluten, dairy, alcohol. That's where I stayed. Soy, gluten, dairy, and alcohol. Alcohol was the last one. So it was soy, gluten, dairy, and I would still drink. Then I put alcohol in about 2.5 years ago. So that got removed. So soy, gluten, dairy, and I was still having allergic reactions to things, because when you go in and you look at that blood work that looks at all the foods that you have high or low reactivity to, you could be very allergic to something that is quote unquote healthy. So like at that time I was eating egg whites and avocados for breakfast because I was in a keto diet and I wanted high fat. When I got that blood work back showing my food allergies, eggs and avocados were extremely high on my list of things I was having allergic reactions to. So therefore I was putting healthy things in my body every morning that my body treated as if it was toxic. My body treated those foods as toxic foods, even though on paper you would think that they're not toxic foods. I was also highly allergic to baker's yeast and brewer's yeast. So even non-alcoholic beers, non-alcoholic wines, I couldn't have any of that because of the yeast that they were being made with. And I'm still highly allergic to baker's yeast and brewer's yeast. I am highly susceptible to reacting to candida. Yeast is a product of candida. So I can't F around over there. I know my lanes. So also that removes sugar. Candida, all sugars are gone for me. So I know that I can't really focus that way, but I have to go this way. And having those food tests done through blood and testing my IgAs and testing my allergic reactions to that really every 3 months to see if my body's healed, eventually I became able to eat avocados again. Eventually that changed, that shifted because my gut healed, and that was something that we needed to go in and heal as well, was my gut, but I had mold toxicity in my gut. So that was a longer game play for me because we had to remove the mold and then build up, that bacteria in a positive way. So there are a couple different products that I use to do that. And I have them listed on my website, supplements that I believe in for gut health. So there was a lot of layers to this, and there was a lot of letting go and being okay with the right now, and being okay with, okay, this is where we are right now, and this is not going to be forever, and I'm going to heal, and my body's going to be okay. And doing my mental work, this is where meditation and Joe Dispenza comes in heavily, is doing that mental work to be okay with now and to be doing what I needed to do mentally to heal my body as fast as humanly possible. Once I got through, I went to a Joe Dispenza event in January, not this year, last year. That is when everything really, everything kind of snapped all the way together. Because I remember I went to Cartagena, Colombia. I went to the Joe Dispenza event. It was a week long. And I took some photos and videos of myself, and my body was changing, and I was healing, and everything was moving together. But once that event happened, my body locked in, and I came back from that, and it was 15 pounds fell off of me. Because everything I had been working on, I've been working on it for about 2 years. So it just all it all came together. The needle had been moving and moving and moving, but it all locked and loaded when I got back from that event. And that is actually when I launched my brand as well. So that's when DIAMANDIA Body Gua Sha was launched, was the January 20th of that year, which was right when I came back from Joe. I remember in the bathroom at the event ordering the boxes on my phone. And then coming home and the boxes were here. So it all kind of snapped into play, but everything had its own priority, and I had all of these things moving at the same time. I had the doctors, the biohacking functional medicine doctor and the endocrinologist managing my system and working with them and really dialing in my blood work and doing the work with them and spending the money and making my health a priority and not pushing that back. And I was very resistant to that initially because of paying out of pocket was something I was like, ugh. But now that I look back, am I insane? How much money I've spent on a car, but I won't go see a doctor that's going to heal my body. What am I thinking? Having that going, and then having my mindset work and therapy and doing that work mentally to manage my emotions and to manage my emotional burden in a healthy way that wasn't putting more stress on my body was really important. So that's daily meditation and then also therapy once a week. That was also happening in conjunction with the 2 doctors. I also was, how am I removing toxins from my body? How am I removing toxins from my body? Every day, dry brushing, the DIAMANDIA Body Gua Sha. Like clockwork, I'm not allowed to leave the house I'm not allowed to leave the house unless I've done my meditation, I've done my 15-minute low impact workout, and I've dry brushed and used the Diamandia body wash and showered. Like, those are the things that have to get done before I can like participate in the outside world. So, you know, really focusing on that, making sure that is ritualistic, and which is why I really believe in the pre and post shower routine with that, because hopefully most of us shower every day, right? Even if I don't want to, I'm just gonna go in there and like stand in the water, right? So if I make a commitment with myself, I'm going to dry brush before I take a shower, and then I will use the body wash after I get out of the shower and put that oil on. That is happening. So like consistency of that, consistency of removing those toxins. And on top of that, getting into a possible infrared sauna every day. I know that some people, that is a price thing, that is a budget thing, but at least if you're dry brushing and using the body wash, you're doing something to activate your lymph nodes. That is amazing, and if you do that consistently, that will help. Adding in another layer of an infrared sauna or sauna will also support that, but is not crucial or critical. So like really removing those toxins. At the same time, really focusing on anti-inflammatory lifestyle, the 7-day reset in terms of my eating, in terms of what's coming in the system, in terms of that meditation, in terms of like keeping myself in the anti-inflammatory lifestyle. So no soy, gluten, dairy, legumes, alcohol, nightshades, and yeast, obviously. And no bad oil, so no canola oil, no palm oil, no sunflower, safflower oil, and no guar gum, xanthan gums, no crap gums. So only oils that come in are avocado, coconut, and olive. That's it. Really focusing on that. So like with that gamut of the things that were happening, like all of these things were going on in, you know, congruent with each other, making sure I'm going to sleep early, making sure I'm using my night mask or eye mask to get enough rest, everything clicked. So that's really how I healed my body. And it took, I mean, in the video, I show you guys a two-year span of what happened. I would say that I had been sick since I was 24, probably before then. Oh, also Lyme disease is in there too. I had Lyme disease. I like forget because I blacked it out. So I had to heal that as well. So I was able to go in, and within 2 years, I did this. And it wasn't fun the whole time. I'm not going to say that it was like a joyful experience, but like the videos that you see now of me like dancing around the kitchen and, you know, dancing around in a bikini, and, you know, I am so happy and joyful to be free and feel this good in my body that I wanted to give this back to everybody that I possibly could. And I wanted to be able to share this experience, and that's why I'm putting up these videos about how horrific I looked when I was so sick, and, you know, all of those things. Like, I don't want to show anyone that stuff, but I want you guys to be able to see that so that you can heal your body from the inside out as well, and possibly not feel like you're a prisoner in your own skin, which is what I felt like. I felt like I was a prisoner in my own body, and no one should feel that way. Now I feel very aligned with myself, very like I'm supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to be out here. I'm supposed to be helping people. And it's still hard for me, definitely, to do this stuff, to like share this stuff, but I know it's because I'm doing it to give back to as many people as possible. And that is enough for me to kind of push away my insecurities about doing these videos and about judgment and about being seen. It's not really about me anymore. It's about you guys. And the reason that I found Dr. Sierra and the reason I found Dr. Polvin was because other women were sharing their stories online. And Jennifer Fisher was one of them. She talked about Dr. Sierra. She had Hashimoto's. I have Hashimoto's. I called Dr. Sierra as soon as I saw her like story. I was like, I gotta called her. Kirsty Godso, who was a Nike master trainer, posted about having shingles. I was like watching her run a 6-mile run like a week later, and I'm like, how is this girl running when she had shingles? I was in bed for like 2 months with every round. And I watched her feed like a sociopath, and in her stories, she tagged Dr. Polvin. I called Dr. Polvin immediately and set up an appointment with him. And I really just had to let go of the money story I was creating in my head about it. And I also had to let go of what I looked like and let my body heal. And when I did all of that, my body eventually turned into what I was trying to be and look like my whole life. But I was trying to do that from restriction and from overtraining and from pushing and from emotional turmoil and from hatred and from self-doubt and perfectionism. And now I don't have any of that, or it's less impactful on me. It still comes in every now and again, but I am exactly where I was trying to be, with ease and grace. And I work out low impact workouts, and I only work out 20 minutes a day. And I would have never believed this in my entire life if I didn't do it. You can do this. Like, it's possible to heal your body. It's possible to be joyful in your system. It's possible to feel good in your own skin. And I built a company from it. You know, I didn't expect to launch a body gua sha. Like, I didn't expect to even be talking about any of this, or this to be like part of my life. And here we are. And every day I can't believe it. And every day I'm so grateful for all of it, even when it sucks. Because I get to see the response that happens from people that hear this story, or for people that use my products. And you know, I had a woman send me an email saying that she's never been able to wear shorts in her entire life, and this June, she's gonna be wearing shorts for the first time, and she's in her 60s. And I just started crying, you know. And it's moments like that keep me going, you know, because it's really difficult sometimes to put this stuff out there, and for people to judge me, and to, you know, lose friends and gain friends, and people to like dump their shit on you, and trolls, and, you know, anorexia comments constantly. But it's possible to do all of it. So I just want to keep doing these confessionals based on the information you guys get back to me about how I did this and what I've been doing. My maintenance and how I manage my system is the 7-day reset. That is why I came out with that product. It is the program that you can build off of. You can live your entire life through it. I live my entire life through the 7-day reset. It has all of the clean ingredients you need for your kitchen. It has a full week of recipes, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack. It has the meditations. It has the workouts. It has the instructions to how to use the body gua sha and the dry brush. It is an all-encompassing way that I live my life and how I healed my body. Aside from the doctors that I'm talking about, this is exactly what I do every day, and what I have been doing based on all of the research that I have accumulated throughout the years, and what I put my body through as the guinea pig, and then what I put other people's bodies through as the guinea pigs as well. You guys have seen, and if you haven't, you know, Jennifer Manville did a massive transformation. Stephanie Prochaska did a massive transformation. And those are two of the people that I've highlighted through this journey, you know, them really going in and shifting their body. And I mean, the reason that I even came out with this was because of Jen, because we went to Costa Rica together, and she started doing my lifestyle there, because we were living in the same house shooting. And she came out of her room and she was like, you have to do a retreat and put this out as a program, because everybody needs to feel this way. And I watched 15 pounds fall off of her body. And I started crying then, and I'm trying not to cry right now, but it works. And, you know, she's then dancing around on Instagram. So the work definitely works. And that's why I came up with all this stuff in the first place, is it works, and I just wanted to share that with everybody. So I hope this video, you know, helps you guys with anything that you want to know more about. If you have any more questions specifically exactly about what I did for what protocol, please put the comments in. I am not a doctor. I'm not going to pretend to be a doctor. I am educated. I'm very educated in my system by default, because of what I've had to go through and what works and what doesn't work. And, you know, really, really simple things that you should be doing to, you know, improve your body. Like women, if you put anything in plastic, you're doing yourself a disservice. Everything should be in glass. Every drink, there should be no Tupperware in your house. There should be nothing plastic that goes in the microwave. There should be nothing plastic in your home at all. Like, plastic is very bad and promotes estrogen dominance. So like, just a tidbit. Again, put the comments in the section below. I will absolutely keep doing more of these if you guys want more. I'm going to be doing as many couch confessions as possible throughout the next, I don't know, we'll see how this goes, but it's got such a great turnout. I will also post the video that shows my health experience, and I will reformat that for YouTube and put that up before I post this video. So I hope this helps everybody, and I really appreciate everybody, and I thank you all so much. Bye.